All right, some of you may have already been familiarized with my races writing method. I did not invent this on my own. I borrowed it and honed it from other sources, and we have been trying to use it throughout the building so that you guys are familiar with the same method from one grade level to the next, okay? So we're going to go over the races writing strategy today, and this is a strategy I want you to use when you are answering a writing prompt for class. And this is not something that you reserve just for English class. You can use this in social studies class, in science class, in math class, in art class, in any class that you have to do a written response to a writing prompt. Okay, this will enable you to write and support a complete paragraph. So let's take a look at this. Our objectives today. When we are finished with this lesson, you will be able to, 1, use a clear-cut strategy to respond to any writing prompt in any class, and 2, you'll be able to write paragraphs that contain relevant topic sentences and well-chosen supporting evidence from the text that is explained in detail. When I use the word text, okay, text means words. You know, it can be anything with words. It can be a book, it can be an article, it can be a song, it can be a movie. Actually, some people even consider art to be a text because it sends a message without even using words a lot of times. So maybe we should say a text is anything that communicates information, okay? Even a commercial or an advertisement is a text. So in the case of today, it will be a short film. So what does RACES mean? First of all, RACES is an acronym. All right, an acronym, if you go here to the link I've provided you, tells you that an acronym is a word, such as NATO, radar, or laser, formed from the initial letter or letters of each of the successive part or parts of a compound term. Okay, so like NASA. NASA, we think of it as a word and the name of a government agency, but it also means like National Aeronautics and Space Administration, I think, okay? So like NATO, radar, those words were formed because they are shortened, they're abbreviated terms, all right? So that is an acronym. So RACES is an acronym. It helps you remember to do the following things. 1, R, restate the prompt. Prompt/question. I'm using the word prompt because it won't always be phrased as a question, even though it's kind of a question. 2, A, answer. Answer the prompt. C, cite evidence. In the case of this class, usually it will be evidence from a text. But any kind of evidence will do. But in here, usually it's evidence from a text. E, explain and elaborate. S means so what? Okay. So let's consider the following prompt. I'm going to show you a short clip here. It says, let's say you're being asked to write about this particular Disney Pixar Cars short. I'm going to italicize Cars because this is the title of a movie. Okay. If for some reason this video link won't work for you, if you are in this particular slideshow, then use this link, okay? So let's watch.
You're watching Disney Junior on YouTube. If I'm lying, I'm crying. Oh, shoot, that was nothing. I used to be a daredevil. What? That's right. Folks would come from all around to see my stunts.
Ladies and gentle cars, Peter Van
Two for $1.
Pardon me. Coming through. Good to see you. My bad. Hey, Ricky, how's the kid? What's your hood?
He did it!
I did all kinds of stunts. Fire! Whoa! I busted nearly every part in my body. But the biggest stunt Mater the Greater ever did was jumping Carburetor Canyon.
Jumping Carburetor Canyon? No way.
Yes, well, you remember. You was there too.
What?
Ready, buddy?
Ready?
All right, Dan. Get her done!
Well, what happened?
You didn't make it. Well, see you later. Come on, guys, let's go.
Thanks for watching. Now click.
Okay, so let's say this is our prompt. Discuss what makes the Disney Pixar short Mater the Greater so funny. Mater the Greater being the title of this short. We call it a short because it's a tiny little movie. Okay? Discuss what makes the Disney Pixar short Mater the Greater so funny. So we're going to go down through races and start with R. Restate the prompt. So I kept my prompt here so we can have it right in front of our eyes. When you restate the original prompt, and I want to clarify that restate is to state again or in another way. And I want to highlight here, in another way. When you restate a prompt, I want you to make sure that you are putting it in your own words. You are not exactly writing it word for word the way it was originally stated. Okay? Especially if it's stated as a question, because then your first sentence isn't going to be a statement. It's going to be a question, and that's a problem. All right? So you're going to restate the prompt. Make sure that you are rewording it in your own way. You ensure that your topic sentence will be relevant to the prompt. It makes sure you're answering the right question. Okay, so if you first restate, then you've automatically set yourself up so that you will be talking about the thing you're supposed to be talking about and not something else. Okay? 3, you ensure that the audience knows the subject of your writing. In this case, the title of the work, which you always need when discussing a text. So what I mean by that is whether you're writing about a movie, a story, a commercial, a television show, a song, a piece of art, an album, a photograph, a magazine, okay? Whatever it is you are writing about, if it is a text, you need to make sure you state the title of the work, okay? So, if I take this, discuss what makes the Disney Pixar short Mater the Greater so funny, I can restate it this way. The Disney Pixar short film called Mater the Greater is hilarious. It's pretty simple, but I've still made it my own words. Restate. R for restate. A is for answer. Answer the prompt. So again, our prompt is right in front of us, okay? So when you answer the original prompt, you simply write a summary of what you are going to support and defend in the rest of your paragraph. So my answer to this question is, the film is funny because of the things Tow Mater does that are absolutely ridiculous in addition to the other characters' reactions to those things. Okay, so it's funny because 1, Mater does ridiculous stuff, and 2, the other characters react in ridiculous ways. So R, restate the prompt. A, answer the prompt. C is for cite evidence. I put from the text in parentheses because when we're writing about a text, that's where the evidence is going to come from, the text, okay? If I ask you to use races in a different context where you're not referring to a text, then we'll talk about this, okay? But evidence is going to be proof, details that support your answer. They are any proof and any details that support your answer. So when you cite evidence, cite meaning all of these things, to quote by example, authority, or proof, to refer to something, to bring forward or call another's attention, especially as an example, proof, or precedent. And in other words, cite is give proof, give proof, give proof. Okay? So you're citing evidence. What is evidence? Something that furnishes proof. Okay? So when you refer to the proof or cite evidence, you collect details, in this case from the text, that support your answer. Okay? Collect details from the text that support your answer. Specific details. So in this case, you have to find, and I recommend 3. 3 is just a nice number. Things that happen in the film that prove your answer. The film is really funny because of the things Tow Mater does that are absolutely ridiculous in addition to the other characters' reaction to those things. So I need to cite 3 things that happen that are funny and or contain character reactions that are funny. C is for cite evidence. R, restate the prompt. A, answer the prompt. C, cite evidence. Which brings us to E. Oops, sorry, I forgot. Backing up. So, cite evidence. If my answer is the film's funny because of what Tow Mater does that's ridiculous and the characters' reactions, then I am going to cite these 3 things that happen. Okay, my evidence. When Mater's supposed to jump the line of cars, that's my first piece of evidence. Mater's supposed to jump through the fire ring, that's my second piece of evidence. When he's telling the story of jumping carburetor springs, that's my third piece of evidence, okay? So it's not enough just to cite it. Now I have to explain why I've used that evidence and elaborate on why I think that that evidence is important and supports my answer, okay? So this is where you explain the specific evidence you've cited and elaborate on why it's important. So what I did was I just left my original evidence here, and in blue, I've written my elaboration. So it says, 1, when Mater is supposed to jump the line of cars, he plops down on top of them and drives across them instead, as if that's what he meant to do all along, and he thinks he's done something daring. Okay? It's ridiculous. I literally laughed out loud the first time I saw that. 2, when Mater is supposed to jump through the fire ring, but catches himself on, Mater is supposed to jump through the fire ring, but catches himself on fire. the rescue vehicle just nonchalantly squirts him out as if nothing dangerous had just happened. Okay? So first of all, you're not supposed to catch yourself on fire when you jump through the fire ring. He does, which is funny. But what else is funny is that the rescue vehicle's just like, squirt, you know, like they're just used to this. I mean, we know that Mater is always just doing ridiculous, dumb things, and he's just so stupid that he doesn't even realize how dumb what he's doing is, which makes him even funnier, okay? And if I had more time to write about Mater, I might add those details, but the teachers asked me to write one solid paragraph, so I'm going to stick to this. So 3, when he's telling the story of jumping Carburetor Springs, he convinces Lightning McQueen that he was there too, even though he wasn't, because the story is totally made up. Okay, so the story of him jumping Carburetor Springs, you know, it's a tall tale. Okay, and Lightning McQueen is like, you did what? And then Mater's like, oh, you were there too. And he's like, I was? You know, which is just so ridiculous and silly that, you know, we know Lightning McQueen wasn't there, and Lightning McQueen knows he wasn't there until he's told otherwise. And then he's like, what? I was there? You know, and then he's told he didn't survive, which is really absurd because he's sitting there hearing the story. So obviously he survived, right? Obviously he made it. So all of that, this idea that Mater can completely confuse everybody is what makes it funny. Confuse and convince them, okay? So there's my explanation and my elaboration. So what? S is for so what? This is your your mic drop moment, okay? Whatever you say at the end, it should be something that is significant and makes your audience go, oh, well, that's why it's important to me in my everyday personal life. Oh, well, that's why I need to know this information. Oh, well, that's why, so what? Okay? Now, I'm going to kind of like jump to the middle here first, because I know that these are the things that you've been being taught to do your whole life, and now I'm throwing you for a loop. Please don't summarize your main points, and don't restate anything you have already written. It is bad writing. We don't need to know what you've already told us. It's only a paragraph long, okay? We can remember what we read 3 minutes ago at the beginning of your paragraph. So do not summarize your main points and do not restate anything that you have already written. So that leaves you with the question, then what should I do? Okay, so here's what I want you to do instead. This is where you answer the question, so what? Why should the why should the audience even care about anything you just wrote? Why does it matter in their everyday lives? Okay, so if I go through and I tell everybody what makes this Pixar film funny, at the end of the day, okay, so what? Why should we care that it's funny? Why does it matter to us? So my so what is this. Because this little film can lighten anyone's mood, and because it only takes a few minutes to watch, everyone should carve out some time in their day for Tow Mater and his Evel Knievel-ish exploits. You can find it on YouTube. So I'm taking this opportunity to connect this to the audience's life as much as I possibly can. I'm saying it's funny. And because it's funny, you should watch it because everybody likes to be in a good mood. And that's why it matters to you. That's your so what. Okay? So that's what I mean by like a mic drop moment. It's got to be something that makes the audience go, oh, cool. All right? So when you put it all together, it looks like this. And I'm not going to reread this whole thing to you, okay? But it is in the slideshow. And basically, I just took everything, okay? I took my R, my restatement. I took my A, my answer. I took my C, my cited evidence. I took my E, my explanations and elaborations. I took my S, my so what. And I put them all together into a well-written paragraph. And I've color-coded it so you can see this is the R, this is the A, green is my cited evidence, Blue is my explanation and elaboration. Purple is my so what. So what you're going to do today, one is if you have already started your article of the week, then you can use this method when you answer your writing prompt at the end of the article of the week. In fact, not just you can, but you should, okay? So you can start using this today if you want to start your article of the week today. Your article of the week is not due until the end of the week, so don't panic that you have to do it all today. You don't. But what you absolutely do have to do today is click here to take the quiz. When you click here, it is going to take you to a Google Doc, okay? You're going to open that Google Doc, and you are going to take that quiz. It is worth 10 points. And if you have watched this, you will do well. And you can even have the slideshow open while you're taking the quiz, just in case you need to go back and look for the answers. So that makes this an open book quiz, which means there's no excuse to get a poor grade on it. All right? That's the Races Writing Strategy. We will use it all year. You will get totally sick of hearing me talk about this. When you ask me how to answer something, I will probably say, use races. Okay? Anyway, good luck on your quiz, and I will see you again later.